Hello and welcome to a yoga class. My name is Renee. Thanks for joining me. Today we are doing a fusion between your 26 pose series hot yoga class and mixing it in with a Vinyasa flow. So come down to your mat and let's begin in child's pose with your big toes touch, knees open wide. You can grab your blocks, place them to the front of your mat, walk your hands forward, allow your forehead to melt down. And crawl your fingertips to where your elbows are engaged off your mat and sink your hips back and down. And take 2 giant breaths in through your nose and out through your nose, creating that ujjayi breath. And start to shift up into tabletop. Slide your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Inhale, gaze up, tailbone lifts. Exhale, round and curl. Press into your hands, chin to your chest. Inhale, gaze up, tailbone lifts, heart forward. Exhale, round and curl. Last one, breath in, shoulders back and down, heart forward, gaze up. Exhale, round it out. Press into your mat, chin to your chest, hips forward, navel in. Come back to a neutral spine. Tuck your toes and press your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Full breath in and breath out. You can pedal out your feet, shake your head. Draw the navel in and up. Sink your hips low. And take a nice full breath in and breath out. Rise to the balls of your feet. Soften your knees. Gaze forward. Walk your hands towards your feet. Ragdoll. Feet at hip width distance. Grab opposite elbows. Sway side to side. Shake your head yes and no. Then release your hands down. Interlace your fingers and place them to the back of your head and neck. Then let your elbows fall in as your head relaxes down. Sandwich your chest towards your thighs. And feel a nice stretch in your back. And remember to bend those knees as much as you need to. And release your hands. Roll up one vertebra at a time. Shoulders pull back at the top. Heart forward. Inhale, reach your arms up. Palms touch. Exhale, hands to your heart. Press your thumbs into your heart. Gaze to your fingertips. Full breath in. Breath out. Step your feet together. Knees together. Inhale, reach your arms up. And place your palms together. Cross at your thumbs. Lengthen out through your side waist. Squeeze your biceps towards your ears. Lift your chin off your chest. And reach over to the right side. Lift your chin off your chest even more. Scoop the right shoulder under. Press that hip beyond your ankle. Engage your quads. And take a nice breath in. And breath out, reach. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, take your arms over to the left side. Press your right hip over, beyond the ankle. Scoop the left shoulder under. Lift your chin off your chest and continue to reach. Pull your arms back a little more. Breath in and breath out. Inhale, reach your arms high. Cross your thumbs the opposite direction. Let your head drop back. Shake out your head. Then reach up, expand out through your sideways. Press your hips forward and start to reach back. Full breath in. And exhale, come back up, hands to your heart. Shoulders down and back. Step your feet to hip width distance. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, flat back, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift, press your shins back, shoulders roll back. Exhale, plant your hands, high plank. Shoulders stacked in line with your wrists. Breath in. Exhale, lower to your mat. Inhale, cobra. Chest lifts. Exhale, release. Inhale, cobra. Press up, shoulders back and down. Exhale, release. Tuck your toes, press up, high plank. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhale your right leg high. Open out your hip, bend your knee. Circle out your ankle. Straighten your right leg, square your hips. Inhale. Exhale, knee to your nose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to your nose, gaze forward, step it through. Draw your back knee down. Inhale, reach your arms up. Press your hips forward. Lengthen your chest up, chin lifts off your chest. Then bring your hands down to your mat. Shift your hips back. Glide the right heel forward. Maybe take the blocks with you. Inhale, lengthen in your heart. Exhale, fold. Pull the right hip crease up and back. Feel a stretch behind the back of the knee. And take another breath here. And plant the sole of your right foot down. Remove the blocks. Tuck your back toe under. Forward fold. Heel toe your feet together and wrap your hands under your heels. So your fingertips will point towards the front of your mat. Wrap your elbows, if you can, around your calves and start to sandwich your chest towards your thighs and begin to lift your hips up. Let your head dangle. Pull a little deeper. Shift the weight forward. One more breath. And remove your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands to chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg high. Open out your hip, bend your knee, circle your ankle. Straighten your left leg, square your hips. Inhale. Exhale, knee to your nose. Inhale, lengthen, extend. Exhale, knee to your nose. Step it through. Drop your back knee down. Inhale, reach your arms up. Press your hips forward. Breath to lift in your heart. Exhale, plant your hands, shift your hips back. Maybe grab for those blocks. Glide your left heel forward. Take a breath in to lengthen. Exhale, fold. A couple breaths here. Pull the left hip crease up and back. Shoulders relax down. Then pull the toes back towards your face. And plant the sole of your left foot down to your mat. Tuck your back toe under. Forward fold. Heel toe your feet to hip width distance. Bend your knees. Reach your arms forward. So sink your hips way back. You can grab for a block and bring the block on in between your inner thighs. Sink back into your heels. Reach forward. So sink it as low as you can. Keep reaching forward. Now take your shoulders and pull them down away from your ears. And squeeze your glutes. And breathe. Just a few more breaths. Right here. Sink it low on those exhales. Inhale, come all the way up. Rise onto your tippy toes, shoulders down, away from your ears as you grow tall. Bend your knees and sink it low. So make sure your feet are at hip width distance. And lift your heels as you slide down the back of a wall. And find that point where Your legs start to shake. Your shoulders pull down, and you need to come back to that breath to maintain your focus. Good, 2 more breaths. Sink it low. And slowly come up and let your heels drop down. Remove the block. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, flat back, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Press your inner arches of your hands down. Then draw your triceps down and your biceps towards each other. And your chest towards your thighs, navel in and up. And breath in. Stick your tongue out, lion's breath. Inhale, rise to the balls of your feet. Bend your knees, gaze forward, step or float, top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, flat back up. Palms touch. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, arms high. Take your right arm, thread it underneath your left. Spin them like ropes. Sink your hips low. And take your right knee up and cross it over for eagle bind. Now take your knees, draw them to the right. Sink low. Pull your shoulders in line with your hips. Take your elbows and pull them down. Maybe you're able to see over your fingers. Shoulders pull down. Squeeze your shoulder blades in back. And let's unwind. Inhale, arms high. Switch it out. Left arm under your right. Sink low into your heels. Lift your left knee up and cross it over the right. Eagle bind. Pull the left hip crease back. Take the knees slightly over to the left. Elbows to the right. Now lean back as you draw your tailbone down. Few breaths. Strong standing ankle. Point your toes down to your heel if you have that full wrap. Then pull your elbows down. Maybe you're able to see over your fingertips. Squeeze your shoulder blades. And unwind. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, flat back, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step or float, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Breath in. And breath out. Inhale, rise to the balls of your feet. Bend your knees, gaze forward. Step or float. Top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Flat back up. Palms touch. Exhale, hands to your heart. Draw your hands down. Lock out your left leg. Engage the quad. Lift your right knee up in line with your hip. Now navel pulls in, draws in, shoulders wrap forward. Take your chest to your leg. Instead of lifting your leg towards your chest, wrap it down. Option to interlace all 10 fingers if you can. Place them underneath your foot. You can grab around your ankle if you need to. Lock out your standing leg. Press your foot into your hand. Find a nice round of your spine. Begin to straighten your right leg. Option, take your elbows around your calf and switch your dristi. Forehead comes to your knee. And bend your right knee and step it down. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Step your left leg back. Warrior 2. Sink in to your front thigh, thigh almost parallel to your mat, shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, float both hands down to your mat. Spin to the ball of your back foot. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, sweep your arms back behind you. Draw your right hip crease back. Breath in and breath out. Bend off your back knee. Reach your arms forward. Warrior three. Draw your left hip down. Find a slight arch in your upper back. Flex your back foot. Both legs strong. 2 more breaths. Continue to reach in both directions. And left foot meets your right. Stand tall with the arms. Hands to your heart. Seal it in. Release your arms by your side. Take a breath in. And breath out. Stand into your right leg. Lengthen your quad. Tighten it up. Stand tall, strong, standing leg. Lift your left knee. Knee stays in line with the hip. Try not to lift your knee to interlace your hands. You want your body to go to your knee. So take the navel in, rotate the shoulders down, strong standing leg. Interlace all 10 fingers and press your foot into your hand. Square your hips, pull the left hip back. Feel the roundness of the spine. Shoulders down. And breathe. Option to start to straighten the left leg. Pull the elbows around your calf. And bend the left knee. Keep that balance. And stand tall. Inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart. Step the right leg back. Warrior two. Heel toe the back foot back. Shift as deep as you can. Externally rotate the left knee open. Breath in. Sink it low. Exhale. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, float both hands down to your mat. Spin to the ball of your back foot. Squeeze your inner thighs. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach high. Sweep your arms back behind you. Bend off your back knee. Lift the back leg up. Reach your arms forward. Warrior three. Flex your foot. Draw the right hip down. Lift your chest up. And breathe. 2 more breaths. You got it. Right foot meets your left. Stand tall. Hands to your heart. Exhale. Breath in. And breath out. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, flat back, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Couple breaths right here. Shake out your head. Inhale your right leg. Exhale, knee to your nose. Step it through. Warrior two, spin your back heel down. Open all the way up. Warrior two. Straighten your right leg, toes in, heels out. Wide-legged forward fold. You can bend into your knees. Shift it out into your hips. Then find your wide-legged forward fold, prasarita. Shift your hips in line with your ankles. Aim your forehead to your mat to elongate your spine. Then walk your hands further back. If you have the space, then bend your elbows almost in a chaturanga arms. Breath in and breath out. You can stay or bend in your knees, reach around and clasp your heels. Scoop up your heels with your hands and start to straighten your legs as you pull yourself a little deeper into the pose. And a couple more breaths. On your exhales, pull a little deeper. Shoulders away from your ears. And remove your hands from your feet. Bring your hands back to your hips. Flat back up. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Breath in. And breath out. Straighten your right leg. Expand forward for triangle pose. Use the back of your right hand on your inner ankle. Left arm reaches way up. Take your chin towards your shoulder and continue to lengthen up and out. 2 more full breaths. Then bend your right knee back to warrior two. An extended side angle, right forearm inside your right knee and thigh. Use the elbow to press the knee open. Then lengthen the left fingertips up high. Feel that side stretch. Now take your right hip and pull it back. Then open through your chest. So find this nice big twist. 1 more deep breath in. Exhale, float both hands down to your mat. Spin to the ball of your back foot. Heel toe your right foot over to the right side and draw your back knee down. And stretch in a little runner's lunge. You can stay right here or fan your right toes open. Rotate to the outer edge of your right foot. Use your right hand on your inner thigh to rotate the upper chest back. And gaze back forward. Plant both hands down. Tuck your back toe under. Step it back. Downward facing dog. Shift to high plank. Roll to the outer edge of your left foot. Stack your right foot on top of your left and lift your right arm up. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Maybe your gaze shifts. And take a nice breath in and breath out. And plant your right hand down and downward facing dog. Breath in and breath out. Inhale your left leg high. Exhale, knee to your nose. Warrior one or warrior two. Spin your back heel down. Reach your right arm to bring it all the way up. Sink into your hips, heel toe that back foot back. Shoulders down. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Straighten your left leg. Triangle pose. Reach forward and use the back of your left hand on your inner ankle. Expand your right fingertips to the sky. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Find a nice stretch on your inner thigh. And breathe. And soften in your left knee. Come back to warrior two. Extended side angle. Use the back of your left hand on your inner thigh. Reach your right hand way up. Pull your left hip back. Rotate and expand your chest. Reach high with your fingertips. Bend deeper into your left knee. And breathe. Couple more deep breaths. And press back to warrior two. Straighten your left leg, toes in. Interlace your hands behind your back. Shoulders open up, wide-legged. Forward fold with a bind. Let your head shake out. Stretching your shoulders. Full breath in and breath out. And let your hands melt back down to your mat. Hands to your hips, flat back up. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, float your hands down to your mat. Spin to the ball of your back foot. Heel toe your left foot to the left side. Hands on the inside. Drop your back knee down. And stretch the quad. And breathe. A moment of rest. Rest and stretch. Rotate your left toes. Fan them open. You can fold on the outer edge of your foot. Use your left hand on your inner thigh to rotate your shoulder back. And feel a stretch on the glute. Then gaze back forward. Plant the left foot down to your mat. Tuck your back toes under high plank. Rotate to the outer edge of your right foot. Stack your left foot on top of your right and lift your left arm up. Press away from your mat and lift your right hip up off your mat and start to gaze up. Maybe your left leg lifts. Then plant your hands down. Downward facing dog. Breath in. And breath out. Inhale, rise to the balls of your feet. Bend your knees, gaze forward, step or float. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Heel toe your feet together, bend your knees. Utkatasana chair pose. Hands to your heart and twist. Left elbow crosses your right knee. Sink your hips low, press your right hand into your left. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Expand your heart and sink your hips even deeper. Full breath in and take it low, exhale. Breath in and exhale. Sweep through your mat, reach your arms high, hands to your heart and twist to other side. Left elbow crosses your right elbow, crosses your left knee. Heart expands open, sink your hips lower than your heart. And breathe. The twist should feel really nice. And forward fold, big exhale. Heel toe your feet to hip width distance. Grab a hold of your elbows, sway it out side to side. Ragdoll, shake your head out. Then relax your hands down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Flat back up. Palms touch. Exhale, hands to your heart. Step your left leg back. About 3 feet away from each other. Left toes pointed at a diagonal. Bring your right hand. Pull your right hip back. Feet are on railroad tracks. Left arm high. Inhale. Exhale, halfway. Inhale, reach both arms. Exhale, fold. Pull the right hip crease up and back. You can grab for your blocks if you need them. Full breath in. And breath out, fold. Then bend your front knee. Lift your back leg up. You can open out your hip. Then draw your left hip down. And grab for your blocks if you need them. Find some length behind your right leg. And let your left foot meet your right. Soften your knees, roll it up. Bring your hands to your hips. Take a breath. Step your right leg back. Heel toe your left foot over to the left. Pull the left hip crease back. Feet are at 3 feet, standing on railroad tracks. Right arm up. Pull and reach halfway. Inhale, lengthen left arm 2. Exhale, fold. Feel a nice big stretch. Shoulders away from your ears. And let the head soften. You're really warmed up here, so it should feel really nice. Then bend your front knee. Flex your back foot. You can lift and open the hip if that feels good. And draw the right hip down. Square the hips. Lift from your back inner thigh. Draw your chest down. And start to reach your chest a little closer towards your thigh. And let the right foot meet your left. Forward fold. Heel toe your feet out to the edges of your mat. From Malasana Yogi Squat. Toes out, heels in. Bring your hands to your heart and your elbows to your inner thighs. Shoulders down and back. Heart lifts. And just soften in your jaw. You can close your eyes. And reach your arms back down. Begin to lift your hips. Heel toe your feet closer together. Hip width distance. Bring your hands to your hips and flat back pulls you up. Keep your knees bent all the way up. Inhale. Exhale. Tree pose. Take your right foot and take your left hand and wrap the foot. Draw your heel way up high, right into the hip bone if you can. Then start to let the knee fall open. Press your hips forward and your tailbone down, shoulders down, and bring your right hand to your heart. And take a couple deep breaths. Continue to press your tailbone down. Lock out your left knee. And pull your right knee in. Hands to your heart. And take it down. Mountain's pose. Shoulders back. Lift your left leg up. Strong standing leg. Take your right hand to the outside of your left foot. Lift your shoulders up. Draw your heel towards your left, or your right rather, hip bone. Now take your left knee and let it fall open and down. You can keep your hand where it is, and your heel might slide a little bit, so just monitor that. Then draw your tailbone down, your hips forward. Your left hand can come to your heart center. Your shoulders back. You can switch your gaze, your drishti. And breathe. Feel the stretch. And listen to the sound of your breath. And start to bend your left knee, hands to your heart, and mountain pose, Tadasana, shoulders down and back. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, flat back, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale your right leg high. Exhale, scoop it through, half pigeon. Shin parallel to the top of your mat. Just start to draw your elbows and forearms down. And give it an extra stretch. A few deep breaths. You can slide the block under your glute if you need it. A couple more nice deep breaths. And lift in your heart. Plant your hands down. Tuck your back toe under. Downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Lift your left leg up. And scoop it through, half pigeon. Shin parallel to the top of your mat. Slide the block under your left glute if you need it. Then you can start to bring your elbows and forearms down if you have the space. And soften into the stretch. Relax your jaw, your eyebrows. You can even let your head drape down. Two deep breaths. And plant your hands down. Downward facing dog. Tuck your toes. Shift it back. Pedal out your feet. Inhale, rise to the balls of your feet. Bend your knees, gaze forward. Step or float, top of your mat. And sink your hips down. And lengthen your legs long. Inhale, lift your arms. Flex your feet. Exhale, fold. You can grab the outer edges of your feet. And pull your heart deeper. Shoulders down and back. Nice couple of breaths. And lift your chest up. Plant the soles of your feet down to your mat. Reach your fingertips forward. And slow and controlled, roll all the way down to your mat. Lengthen your left leg long and take your right knee and squeeze it into your chest. You can take your knee towards your right shoulder and feel your inner thigh scrape your outer ribs. If you can grab opposite elbows, you can grab opposite elbows for a deeper stretch, or interlace all fingers and place them on your shin and pull deeper. This will also stretch the joints in your fingers. Then pull it down, shoulders down, and switch sides. Bring your left knee into your chest. Interlace all 10 fingers, pull your knee Just scrape your inner thigh on your rib cage and lengthen your left leg. If you need a deeper stretch, you can grab opposite wrists or opposite elbows. And you might even flex the bottom leg, the right foot in this case, just to be mindful of keeping the right leg straight. And release your left leg down. Reach both arms over your head. Find a slight arch in your upper back. Then pull your knees into your chest. Drive your knees closer together and keep your ankles and your feet in one line versus crossing it. And then maybe you can grab opposite elbows or you interlace all 10 fingers and pull your knees down. Draw your tailbone down to your mat. Slightly draw your chin in towards your chest. And breathe. And release. Happy baby. Grab the outer edges of your feet. Rock it out side to side. And bring your knees back in. And let's rock and roll. Rock and roll 2 more times. And come to a seated position, shoulders down and back. Draw your left ear to your left shoulder. Feel a stretch in your neck. And your right ear to your right shoulder. And bring it back to center. Rock through. And set up for eagle. What is this called? And set up for camel. Lift your chest. Bring your hands to your lower back. Rotate your shoulders back as you press your hips forward. Open your chest and start to gaze back. Press your hips forward. Shoulders down and back. And breathe. And slowly come back up. Press your hands into your hips, into your lower back. Then bring your hands down. Tuck your toes. Bend your knees, roll up. Dancer pose. Step your right leg forward. Reach your right arm up or standing bow. Bend your left knee and reach around and grab the inside of your left foot. Knees pretty close together. Start to lift your left knee up. Keep your chest lifted and your hips squared. You can allow the left shoulder to roll back, the right shoulder to roll forward. Start to reach forward as your knee continues to lift. And slowly come back up and down. Shift it back, step back. Then bend your right knee and grab the inside of your right foot. Draw both knees closer together. Lift your left arm up and start to press your foot into your hand. Rotate the right shoulder back, but keep the hips squared. You should feel a really nice stretch on your back. Then when you can't lift anymore, start to reach your left arm forward. And breathe. And slowly come back up. And hands down. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, flat back, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, high plank. Lower all the way down to your mat. Reach your arms into a T, point your toes. Inhale, lift your chest and your legs. Locust pose. Breathe. One more giant breath. Place your hands under your shoulders. Child's pose. Bring your knees together. Sweep your arms back behind you. Allow your forehead to melt down. Create this big round in your back. And slowly roll it up. Shift on to your left or right hip. Bring your legs around and scoot forward. Reach your right leg forward and take the sole of your left foot on your inner thigh. Reach both arms up and expand forward. Draw your left shoulder down. Right shoulder slightly up as you pull your heart deeper. Pull that right hip back. And switch. Take the left leg forward, the right leg on your inner thigh. Inhale, both arms high. Exhale, flat back. Fold. Shoulders away from your ears. Pull the left hip crease back. And lift your chest up. Bring the soles of your feet down to your mat. Reach your arms forward and slow and controlled. Take it down. Use the core to make your way down to your mat. Bring the knees into your chest and rock side to side. Take your hands under your thighs and rock and roll. Then bring your feet over your head for plow pose. Bring your hands to your back. Let your toes fall down. And feel a stretch on your back. Should be nice and warmed up. Healthy spine, healthy life. You can bring it to a shoulder stand. Expand one leg up and then the other. And take your hips and press them over your head. Squeeze your glutes. Then take your legs and press them forward. So they're stacking in one long line. An option to bend your knees for deaf man's pose. Take your knees around your ears. And bring your arms, hands back down to your mat. And slow and controlled. Shift it down. And bring your knees in. And lengthen your legs out. Reach your arms over your head. Stretch. And pull your knees back in. And let your knees fall to the right. Expand your arms into a T and gaze to the left. Two more breaths. And switch to the other side. Take your knees over to the left and gaze to the right. And take your knees and draw them back in. Give yourself a hug. And place the soles of your feet on your mat. Reach your fingertips towards your heels. Press your feet into your mat. Lift your hips. Bridge pose. You can stay. Option to interlace your hands under. Rotate your shoulders under. Lift your hips even higher. Imagine you have that block in between your inner thighs. You're squeezing the block as you lift and press into your heels. Engage your quads and your hamstrings. And slowly lower it down. Pull the knees back in. Rock it out. And take the soles of your feet together and your knees wide for Supta Baddha Konasana. You can let your hands rest on your inner thighs, or bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your stomach. And close your eyes and soften into the breath. Find this moment of peace, relaxation, rejuvenation. And when you're ready, release into your final resting pose, Shavasana. Just lengthen your legs out. And rotate your shoulders under, palms face up, and slightly dip your chin to your chest. Let your back relax down into your mat. And check in with your eyebrows, just lift them up and let them go. See if you can soften anywhere you might not even realize you're holding tension. And take a breath in, flutter your lips. And breath in and breath out. And begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Let your breath happen naturally. And rock your neck side to side. Expand your arms over your head. Draw your knees in and roll over to your favorite side. And pause here for a moment of gratitude and self-love for making it to your mat. And press up to a seated position. Bring your hands to your heart center. And bow to your inner light, into the earth. Namaste.